everybody, and welcome to The Letter Live here from Louisville High School. I am Aiden Brueck, your illustrator for tonight, and to my right, he's getting the starters real quick, but that's Mike Popovich. He'll be here in a second. Today we got a great battle of defending state champions versus a team that has been unstoppable in 2025. It's the Richmond Heights Spartans versus the Louisville Leopards, and it's going to be a good one. Louisville with two commits on the team, Bo Siegfried going to Ashland, the point guard, and Braden Gross, Walsh commit. Braden Gross had been out with a little bit of an injury scare for about 6 games, so he's about 6 games behind in stats the other guys. He comes back, and Kadal Jancic decides, let's make something happen. A lot of players on this Louisville team that have really stepped up to the occasion, and the same can go for this Richmond Heights team. They've got a bunch of kids on this roster that are going Division I, and when I say that, I'm not kidding. If I look at my roster here, it is Dorian Jones, Derek Barber, and Damaris Winters Jr., who are all putting up double-digit numbers and going on to play Division I ball after their time at Richmond Heights is finished. But with that being said, I'm going to go on a little bit of a break here, and Mike and I will get you guys set with your matchups, your starters, and everything you need to know before tonight's independent clash. Thank you. We'll see you then. Everybody, welcome back to The Letter Live here from Louisville High School. I am Aiden Brueck, and to my right, it is local sports journalism legend, Mike Popovich. Mike, you hate it when I say that, but I feel like you don't let me say it enough.
Well, I'll say whatever you want to say. I don't look at myself like that, so you say whatever you want to say, bro.
Hey, whatever, Mike, whatever. Anyways, we are here at Louisville High School today for a battle of the Leopards versus the Spartans in the play-by-play classic. The Louisville Leopards come into this game undefeated in the year 2025. And if you haven't noticed, that is the year we are currently in. So they've gone undefeated this year. So there was just a long way of getting around that. With that being said, Richmond Heights have faced the gauntlet of competitors this season, going on to play teams in the latter half of the season as well, like St. Vincent St. Mary's, St. Ignatius, and St. Edwards as well. St. Edwards, a team that Louisville beat on January 18th. And in that game, Mike, it was also notable because that marked the return of Louisville's star forward, Braden Gross.
Well, Braden Gross missed 6 games with a back injury. He had missed a couple of games when they were out in California during that tournament and some few games when they came back, but he is back healthy and had a big impact in helping the Leopards roll past St. Ed's. I mean, I don't think a lot of people were surprised that Louisville beat St. Ed's, but they beat them pretty decisively after losing up at St. Ed's last year. So Braden Gross back with the Leopards, and it's kind of cool that we're back here too. We were here early in the season, and then the team had gone away for a long time, and now we're back here again to watch them play a Richmond Heights team who has aspirations like Louisville does. Richmond Heights, 3-time state champions. Not many teams in Ohio have won 3 straight state titles. Richmond Heights has done that the last 3 years. They have aspirations to make it 4 straight, and Louisville has aspirations of getting to their first state tournament.
Absolutely, Mike. And with that being said, we have a lot of information about both of these teams, but the one thing that Richmond Heights declined to give us was their player rebound totals. And I saw that, and I was a little bit shocked, because you look at these kids and you're seeing 6'4", 6'5" is the average. And you don't expect that, Mike. So I'll see what they do on the boards tonight, but that's what I'm a little bit skeptical about.
Well, Louisville has, like we talked about with Braden Gross, a guy who can really mix it up inside like that. So, outside of their scoring and stuff, Richmond Heights talented all the way around. They have many different guys who can score for you, but obviously so does Louisville too. Braden Gross, Bo Siegfried, one of the top point guards in the state. Tate Aljancic helped pick up some of the slack when Braden Gross was out with the injury. And a guy like Devin Bailey, who's in the starting lineup tonight, who had a good performance against St. Ed's. We saw him coming off the bench earlier this season, but he's in the starting lineup tonight.
And a lot of changes coming for this Tom Siegfried-led Louisville Edwards team over the course of the season, but through it all, they've only gotten 4 losses. Those 4 losses came with one here at home, their only loss at home on the season. And then the other 3 losses were all the way on the West Coast in California. So this team has just gone rampant through the state of Ohio, Mike.
Well, yeah, and they're going to be facing a gauntlet of Ohio teams coming up in the next few weeks before the postseason starts. You talk about Richmond Heights tonight. They're going to play Hoover on Tuesday next week. They're going to play St. Vincent St. Mary a week from tomorrow here. Later on this season, they're going to play St. Ignatius, the defending Division I state champions. So, like Richmond Heights, Louisville challenging itself with an opportunity to get itself really ready for the tournament.
Yeah, and with that being said, Mike, I had the opportunity to speak to both coaches before the game. So with that being said, it's my favorite phrase. With that being said, I'm going to kick it over to Tom Siegfried. We had about a 4-minute conversation before the game. Here's what he had to say about his squad. So you guys are undefeated in 2025. Your last loss came here at Louisville High School as a part of another tournament. You guys have had such success under your leadership, your son's leadership, and especially Tate Aljancic's uprising after Braden Gross went down with the injury earlier in the season. But since then, you guys have really pulled it together and still been able to execute these games with perfect perfection. So, what has really gone into your guys' thought process about these games and trying to fit within all of your different adversities?
Yeah, so, obviously, we've never won injuries, but we really talk about taking a negative and making it into a positive, and our kids really bought into that. Arguably, one of our toughest times of the season with 7 really brutal games in a row. BG was obviously done, and we talked about maybe building some depth during that time. And as you alluded to, Tate Aljancic really stepped up. Colton Loy, Avery Andrachik, and numerous others took a role on that they maybe weren't expected of, and maybe they haven't done in the past. And it's really paying dividends now since BG came back. Now we see how that's playing into more team effort, and we think that's really going to help us in March as well when we get into the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. So we look at that game on January 18th against St. Edwards, and you see all the struggles that were happening from the perimeter at that point.
Yeah.
At that point in the game, you were up 28, so it's not like it really mattered.
Right.
But that perimeter shooting has struggled in the past couple of games. What are you looking to try and open up some windows in these next couple of games?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we've noticed is even in a game like that, I think we were 5 of 22 from 3 that game. We're up 31 points in the fourth quarter. And I think it just comes down to our relentless effort, offensive rebounds, getting extra possessions. And, there's been games where, we've been hot from the outside, but there's also been games that we've been cold, and we've still found a way to win in those games that we were cold. And we have Bo and Avery right now shooting over 40% from 3, and that's it. But honestly, it doesn't matter because our guys realize it could be any given guy at any given night.
Yeah, but if you were to ask me about what wins championships, I would always tell you defense. Defense is what makes the clock tick for Louisville basketball. And that's been everything that I have watched at my time at Green, and that's what I've seen when I've come over here. It's been pure defense and excelling on that front. So what have you guys what have you guys been trying to instill in this second half of the season that you weren't seeing on the defensive end in the first?
Yeah, we create that level of toughness. I think our guys really got into basketball shape. They really started becoming connected with each other on the defensive side. You have to have 5 playing as one, but you bring up Green. That's a great example. Coach Kinsley did it for years with their defense and their toughness, and that's kind of what we're trying to do here. Because as you said, when you get to the tournament, you're not going to score 80, 90 points a night. Everybody's playing for their livelihoods that night, and we just really want to make sure that we're playing as hard as we can, as relentless as we can, and together as we can.
Yeah, and so Richmond Heights, obviously a team that has faced a lot of adversity, and through that adversity they have faced a lot of success. It's a tough opponent, okay? It's running about like only an 8-man rotation. So you kind of have to play against that as well. What have you guys been trying to game plan against Richmond Heights?
Well, they just have so many weapons, and we know we're battle-tested, and they're really battle-tested. So we've seen them multiple times, but at the same time, we've also understood that their guys are gonna score in numerous ways, and they have multiple different players that are gonna do different things. So really, it's all about us right now having good closeouts tonight, really communicating on defense, and they're gonna make some shots, and we just got to make sure we keep our poise and do our part on the other end.
Yeah, so absolutely. You talked about kind of trying to close in on these offensive players. They have at least 3 or 4 guys in the starting lineup that are consistently putting up double digits in the scoring category. But what I thought was interesting, he didn't send us anything about their rebounds.
Yeah.
How would you describe this team's rebounds off of the film that you've watched?
I think that we have an advantage on the rebounding edge, and I told our guys that in order for us to win this game tonight, we got to do what we normally do, which is about 2-to-1 rebounding. And they have 4 seniors out there. We have 5 seniors out there. So, you have a lot of veteran players that played a lot of basketball. So I think the fans are really in for a clean game, a very exciting game, and, it should be a game that comes down to the end.
All right, thank you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Letter Live. I'm Aiden Brueck, and to my right is Mike Popovich from the Canton Repository. We just heard from Tom Siegfried, but we also had the opportunity to hear from Coach Quentin Rogers of the Richmond Heights squad, head coach for that state championship team, and multiple state championship teams. And we also had 3 of them. We had the opportunity to talk to him as well. So here's that interview right for you right now.
It's Coach Rogers. Richmond Heights off to a electric start in the season, but you got that tough stretch in the middle of the season. You're coming into the second half now with a bit of a heightened sense of urgency, especially before the playoffs. You have 4 players in your starting lineup that are currently averaging double digits in the point category. What does that kind of look for you guys, or what does that kind of look like for you guys, especially when you play teams like Louisville and especially when you play these tougher opponents?
Earlier in the season we dealt with some crazy injuries, so Dorian was gone for like 6 weeks. So in that stretch, other guys stepped up, and now that he's back, it seems like they're continuing on, and we're kind of like gelling right now. So it makes it kind of hard for teams to guard us on the offensive end.
Yeah, absolutely. So you take a look at this defense as well, and you got 3 kids that are going Division I. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you're a big guy going to Ohio State, but it's all about the other parts of the team as well. So you look at the defensive side of things, and Louisville has always been a defensive-oriented team. Mm-hmm. So if Richmond Heights are able to, beat Louisville on the defensive front, how would you think that would look out?
Probably just a perimeter defense, just making things difficult for them on the offensive end, and making sure we have good shot selection on our end that doesn't give them offense. That's something big we talk about a lot.
Yeah, so the playmaking of this team has been nothing less than stellar. I mean, obviously all these guys are able to make plays on the snap. What have you guys seen that has really helped your playmaking and court vision for all of your players?
A lot of practices. We practice a lot on passing and hitting the open man, just making the game simple. Don't make it too complex. No need to jack up shots. Any given day, it could be a different person.
Yeah. So Louisville coming into this game is a bit of a tougher opponent. Only 4 losses on the season. All 3 of them coming in a tournament in California. Besides that, they've gone undefeated in the state of Ohio besides 1 game that they had here at home. Louisville's a tough opponent. So what have you guys been trying to game plan?
We just worry about making sure we do what we're supposed to do. And then we'll adjust as the game goes on. We'll see how they're playing, and then that'll determine if we start doing adjustments and making different plays.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a 32-minute game. Yep. You got a lot of time. Anything can happen. So what is your outlook for what you're going to try and make happen early on?
We're just going to do our usual. We're going to get the ball up the floor. We're going to be aggressive on defense, move the ball, and then we'll see what they're trying to do, and if we got to make adjustments and counter that.
All right, absolutely. Good luck. Thanks. Absolutely. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Letter Live. You just heard from Quentin Rogers, the head coach of the Richmond Heights Spartans. And with that being said, Mike, it's almost about time for tip-off.
And it's almost time for tip-off. And while the coaches' interviews were going on, we were watching warm-ups. And my goodness, you noticed something, and I started watching it too. Richmond Heights' players weren't missing shots at all.
They didn't miss any shots, Mike. They didn't miss any shots.
I mean, obviously, a very good basketball team. Their record speaks for itself. So I'm looking forward to this game. I've been looking forward to this game all week, you know. I've been looking forward to this game since we talked about maybe coming here, however long ago that was. So, it's going to be just real fun to watch.
It's going to be great. And as you've said that, Mike, we have a new segment.
We do.
We have a new segment. And it's my segment.
It's your segment.
It's my segment.
I hogged up all the Who's Hot segments all year, bro. I can't keep doing that to you.
All right. Well, I have all of the goods for all you viewers watching. Welcome to Brooks Breakdown. Okay, so with Division I and collegiate talent all over the floor, okay, this game plan for both teams is going to revolve around containing the key players and exploiting these strategic mismatches. So let's break down the most critical individual and team matchups for Richmond Heights and Louisville. So first we have Braden Gross, the Walsh commit, against Dorian Jones, who is the Ohio State commit for the Richmond Heights Spartans. Gross and Jones will be crucial pieces in the interior battle tonight. Gross, the 6'7" forward, is currently committed to Walsh, and he's effective in establishing the deep post position and controlling the boards for Louisville. His ability to secure second chance points and protect the rim,
We have to adjust when the lights go out. Go ahead, man.
Jones stands at 6'4" with his versatility on both ends and will challenge Gross with his agility and ability to stretch the floor. And Jones' transition offense, from what I've watched, his ability to finish through contact is going to require Louisville to close those gaps quickly and rotate effectively to limit his scoring. Richmond Heights may also use Jones as a defensive disruptor, challenging Gross to finish under the pressure. So here's my key for the matchup. If Gross can control the paint and prevent Jones from attacking downhill, and gains that rebounding advantage to limit those second chance points, Louisville will gain the edge. The next matchup, Tate Aljancic versus Damaris Winters Jr. Aljancic's size, 6'5", and the ability to operate both inside and on the perimeter make him a difficult matchup. He will likely draw Winters Jr., a quick and skilled scorer. Winters excels at creating space using those screens effectively and attacking the basket when defenses collapse. So Aljancic will need to close out aggressively on perimeter shots when preventing drives. Louisville's defensive rotations must be on point, as Winters is capable of drawing help defenders and dishing out to teammates like Jones or Emery, who we will get to soon. If Aljancic can make Winters work on defense and contain him without frequent help, Louisville's team defense will remain intact. Conversely, though, if Winters gets clean looks or forces defensive breakdowns, it could open up scoring lanes for Richmond Heights. Next up, Bo Siegfried, the Ashland commit for Louisville, versus De'Eric Barber Jr. The point guard battle is critical to determining the game's overall tempo. Siegfried, committed to Ashland, is a composed floor general who can effectively run half-court sets and protect the ball. He'll be tasked with neutralizing Barber's impact on both sides. Barber, averaging nearly 8 assists per game, is the engine for Richmond Heights' offense and a threat in transition. His ability to break down defenses, find open shooters, or score on drives will test Siegfried's ability to contain him without fouling. So if Siegfried can limit Barber's penetration and prevent those easy fast break opportunities, Louisville will control the pace and force Richmond Heights into difficult half-court sets. Richmond Heights, on the other hand, will rely on Barber to speed up the game and apply defensive pressure, looking to create those turnovers. So Louisville's length and rebounding versus Richmond Heights' transition and perimeter scoring. Louisville's size advantage, led by Gross and Aljancic,
gives them a clear edge on the boards. Their ability to crash both the offensive and defensive glass could limit Richmond Heights' second chance points and disrupt their transition game. However, Richmond Heights is built to capitalize on turnovers and long rebounds, with players like Emery and Ansbury ready to push the pace. So the Spartans will look to stretch the floor, utilizing quick ball movement and perimeter shooting to spread out Louisville's defense. So the winner of this game, in my opinion, will likely be determined by which team can control the boards and force the other into inefficient offensive situations. Both have the talent to take over, but discipline and execution within their respective matchups will decide who leaves the gym victorious, Mike.
Who's hot? You are with that analysis to start the game.
I guess so.
And the game has started.
And with you saying that, the game has started. Joey Emery, 5'10" senior guard for Richmond Heights, taking it through the paint, floats it over, can't get past Braden Gross. He falls down on his way on the board, and Siegfried has it on the right side of the court, currently at the Leopard. He's tossed it off to Aljancic now. And Siegfried has it once again on the left perimeter. Goes inside to Ashton Marshall for a first shot at scoring. Siegfried from the left perimeter goes outside to Aljancic, who goes back to him. He pump fakes the three, goes to Gross instead, who understands it, and goes inside, finds his board, and gets the two. And like I said, Mike, if Gross is able to control that part of the game, making those second chance opportunities, Louisville will be set for tonight. There's 7 minutes, 6 seconds to go here in the first. It's Louisville 2, Richmond Heights 0. Dorian Jones controlling for the Spartans. He passes it in to Mekhi Ansbury, who gives it to Derek Barber. He'll pass it out. Deep three by Dorian Jones. Goes off the back of the rim, and it's rebounded by Siegfried. 6 minutes, 44 seconds left to go here in the first. It's Louisville 2, Richmond Heights 0. Siegfried gets around, hands it off to Bailey, and takes it right back in that right corner. He'll dribble around and start to reset for the offensive possession. Hands it off to Bailey, who gives it to Aljancic. At the key, Bailey has it. Pump fakes, back to Aljancic. And Siegfried now has it on the left perimeter. Guarded closely by Richmond Heights, he hands it off to Austin Wade. Or Ashton Marshall, excuse me. And Siegfried has it once more. Siegfried tries to get around, looks to take an extra step on his way out. Braden Gross saves the backcourt violation. Goes behind his back for a spin, and in the paint, he'll go up for one. Ball hits Ohio High School basketball media's filmographer on the way out.
Yeah, jump ball. It's going to stay with Louisville. Braden Gross, a great ball handler for a big guy to get the dribble in like he did.
And as you say that, Mike, Siegfried goes up for a two, and he is fouled. So he'll get 2 foul shots, and he'll be able to extend the score with a made pair. 5 minutes, 55 seconds to go. It's Louisville 2, Richmond Heights 0.
Now, first foul of the game is going to go against Richmond Heights. Derek Barber Jr. Braden Gross to the line for 2 free throws, puts the first one up and in. Gross averaging 15.9 points per game for the Leopards to lead them in scoring this season. And he makes the second shot. Give Louisville a 4-0 lead.
4-0 lead they now have. 5 minutes, 52 seconds to go, and Derek Barber Jr. will look to get past Gross. He goes underneath, looks for the reverse layup. He's fouled on his way down. Excuse me, he's not called for the foul on the way down, but it is going Richmond Heights' way after the out-of-bounds touch by Gross.
Well, he was alone underneath the basket, but the big problem for him was big Braden Gross was standing there to force that miss.
Damaris Winters Jr., spin-around jumper, finds it from the left side of the paint. And now there's a stoppage in play. I'm confused about what's going on, but it looks like Marshall will have the inbound. He goes down to the other side of the court. He's got Joey Emery and Dorian Jones on the side. A ball set, heaved down to Siegfried. Step back three He'll find it. Siegfried from 3 puts the Leopards up 5 with 5 minutes 30 seconds to go here in the first. It's Louisville 7, Richmond Heights 2. And as I say that, De'Eric Barber Jr., 5'11 senior guard, goes up for a tough layup inside the paint. 5 minutes 15 seconds to go. Gross carries it down himself. 3 taken by Bailey. Not just off the front side of the rim. Kicked back out to Gross. He'll dribble underneath. Almost pushed out of bounds. Tries to go behind the perimeter to Siegfried, and in the transition goes out of bounds. It's going to be Louisville ball here now with 5 minutes and 5 seconds to go.
Well, on that previous Louisville possession, how confident are you if you're both Siegfried to take a step back and get that 3?
And a tough layup taken by Ashton Marshall now over Richmond Heights' Damaris Winters Jr. Becky Hansberry hands it off to Damaris. Winters still has it. Hands it off to Dorian Jones. And now on the left side, offset of the Leopards logo, De'Eric Barber looks to try and take it around. Hands it off to Joe Emery and finds a glass cleaner. 4 minutes, 29 seconds to go here in the first. It's Louisville 9, Richmond Heights 6. Siegfried, dig 3! Bang! Gets it! 4 minutes, 18 seconds to go. In the first, it's Louisville leading Richmond Heights by double their score. And Becky Hansberry looks to kick it out. Handed to Dorian Jones. Guarded by Marshall. He'll look to do it himself. Hands it off to Damaris Winters. Deep 3. Again. No go. And a foul called on Aljancic. Louisville doesn't like that call.
Yeah, definitely. I'm kind of wondering about it myself. The foul goes on Devin Bailey. Ball stays with Richmond Heights. Bailey, first foul of the game.
Taken now at the logo, it's Joey Emery. He's guarded by Ashton Marshall. He'll look to do it himself with an ISO play. Puts it over Marshall and notches off the back of the rim, hitting the screws. Braden Gross almost loses it. Unguarded in the paint. Hands it out to Bailey. He loses it in transition to the jump shot. Goes inside to Aljancic. And Aljancic, 6'5 frame, gets up for the Leopards. It's Louisville 14. Richmond Heights 6, 3 minutes, 24 seconds to go. And it has been a close one. De'Eric Barber Jr. is guarded by Devin Bailey. Sorry, I almost said Drew Bailey. Guarded by Devin Bailey. He is at the logo. Hands it off to Joey Emery. And Emery on that right perimeter is going to hand it right back to Dorian Jones, who gives it to De'Eric Barber, who gives it back to Damaris Winters. Winters pushes off. And that foul is washed. 2 minutes, 55 seconds to go. Cooks someone up and fires away. Whole brick now. 2 minutes, 50 seconds to go here in the first. Louisville 14, Richmond Heights 6.
Yeah, not a great shooting start for Richmond Heights, and no second chance opportunities for them.
Siegfried, another deep 3. Fire away, Siegfried. That's another one for the kid. 2 threes for Siegfried in the first. He's got 9 points already for the Leopards. It's Louisville 17, Richmond Heights 6 with 2 minutes, 24 seconds to go. Dribbling through now, it's Joey Emery. Tough play, can't find it, but De'Eric Barber Jr. is able to get the putback shot. And after that, a timeout is called. The first timeout of the game is called with 2 minutes, 18 seconds left to go here in the first, Mike. And oh my goodness, this is exactly what we wanted.
Well, yeah, and we were here early in the season where Bo Siegfried really went off in a game. And he's off to a start like that tonight. 3 threes for 9 points early on. Louisville, very fluid offensively, very effective on the offensive end of the floor. And that time down court for Richmond Heights, I think it was their first putback of the game to get them back to within 9 points. But if you're Tom Siegfried, you couldn't have asked for a better start than this.
No, you could not, especially against a team like Richmond Heights, who were also able to get off to a hot start against most teams in Ohio. That Richmond Heights offense to start the game is going to be a killer. But against Louisville, not so much. Tate Aljancic is going to be on the inbound now with 2 minutes, 18 seconds left. Leopards and Richmond Heights coming out of the timeout. Louisville 17, Richmond Heights 8. 2 minutes, 14 to go. Siegfried is guarded by Derek Barber. Tries to get around him and spends one down. Screen pass goes to Gross. He's on the right side. Looks to dribble through, size upon Joey Emery. Kicks one and back out to Siegfried. Goes to Ashton Marshall. Marshall passes up the deep three opportunity, and it goes back to Siegfried. Asking for a screen. 1 minute 53 to go. Gets the screen from Bailey. Goes back to Marshall. And Marshall dribbles through. Looking to go through the paint. Dishes it off to Gross on the way down. It looked like Colton Loy was the intended pass recipient. Going Louisville's way after a fast break opportunity from Joey Emery. And a minute 35 seconds left. It's Louisville 17, Richmond Heights 8. And apologies, but I did say that Colton Loy was Devin Bailey. But now looks like Devin Bailey is back in the game alongside Colton Loy. So with a minute and 33 seconds left to go here in the first, it's Louisville 17, Richmond Heights 8. 9 points from Siegfried, leads the charge. Gross looks to kick one out, fakes the pass, goes inside, gets the putback shot, and says his man is too small on his way back down. A minute and 19 seconds to go here in the first. It's Louisville 19, Richmond Heights 8. And from the three-point line, fires away, it's Mecky Ansberry. And he can't find it. Another three taken by Damaris Winters, and he'll find it. Deep three taken by Winters. And the crowd is pretty silent for that, Spark.
Yeah, it was not too many Richmond Heights fans here. A few of them, but not a whole lot.
Louisville almost turns the ball over on the back of Bo Siegfried. Tries to go for a spin around, and as I say that now, Braden Gross and Aljancic come off for Marshall and Andrechik. Andrechik receives the inbound and goes up top for a quick layup. It's blocked and is taken down the court by Damaris White. Taken to Derek Barber Jr. And now in the corner, Joey Emery has it on the right side. He'll look to dribble through. Mid-range jumper finds its way in. 35 seconds to go. It's Louisville 19, Richmond Heights 13.
We'll see if Louisville goes for the final shot here. A little mini run by Richmond Heights here at the end of the first quarter.
Colton Loy passes it off to Siegfried with 20 seconds to go. Siegfried looks to make something happen. Goes up for a floater, and that's blocked by Dorian Jones. With 12 seconds to go, Richmond Heights looks to get a shot off with plenty of time to spare. Damaris White, or Winters Jr., fires away from the stripe. 4 minutes to go now, or 4 seconds to go now. Siegfried buzzer beater. Doesn't go in after a couple of bounces off the rim, and after one, it is Louisville 19, Richmond Heights 15.
Well, that's a good finish to this quarter by Richmond Heights. They were down by, I think as many as 11. They scored the final 7 points of the quarter to get back within 4 and to overcome a hot start by Louisville, led by Bo Siegfried. 9 points in the first quarter. We're talking about who's hot. 9 points in the first quarter for Bo Siegfried on 3 threes. But Richmond Heights with a good finish. Demarius Winters Jr. with 7 points in that quarter. Winters, Derek Barber Jr., and Joey Emery, the only 3 scorers for Richmond Heights. Very balanced team all season. Starting out balanced in the first quarter. Louisville 19, Richmond Heights 15.
And it looks like going into the second quarter, Braden Gross is going to go back in for the Leopards after a bit of rest to end the first.
Yeah, Louisville, a couple of turnovers on their final few possessions during that second quarter. Otherwise, very effective offensively to start the game. And a couple of second chance opportunities for Richmond Heights on this end of the court to help get themselves back in it. But you kind of wonder if Richmond Heights really has anybody that can match up with Gross inside. He was able to get a couple of putbacks early on in this game to help Louisville get rolling. We'll see what happens as the game goes on.
Emery on the inbound to start the second. He'll fire it away to Derek Barber Jr. Similar lineup to what we saw begin the game for the Spartans. Damaris Winters Jr. averaging 15 points a game, hands it off to Mecky Ansberry. Ansberry at the key, dribbles back and forth, looks to get on Aljancic, puts one up. It's a high floater, can't find it. 7 minutes 38 to go here in the second. It's Louisville 19, Richmond Heights 15. Gross does some magic on the outside, gets past one defender to Siegfried in the corner.
He overshoots it. And now Siegfried chases down to Mecky Ansbury. Mecky Ansbury, tough layup. Reverse on the way up. And Richmond Heights finds themselves within 2. It's Louisville 19, Richmond Heights 17. 7 minutes, 14 to go. Braden Gross is trapped back by Richmond Heights. He's got to get one past. And a timeout taken by Tom Siegfried to avoid the violation.
Yeah, that was very close to being a 10-second violation on Louisville. Smart move to take a timeout right there. Richmond Heights, 9-0 run, it looks like, to go from being 19-8 down to 19-17 down. So they're back in this game. They have to be a little bit more confident right now. And, no one would have really believed that this was going to be a lopsided game the way it started in Louisville's favor. Although no one probably would have believed that last week's game against St. Ed's was going to be lopsided, and they turned out that way.
And they did just that. Devin Bailey, Braden Gross, Ashton Marshall, Tadal Jancic, and Bo Siegfried now on the court for the Leps. Derek Barber Jr., Mecky Ansbury, Damaris Winters Jr., Dorian Jones, and Joe Emery on the court for the Spartans. Siegfried gets past his defender, fires it out to Al Jancic, who goes back to Siegfried. He's in the left corner, dribbles around, fires inside to Braden Gross, and it's washed. Hand was on Gross's face. And that's going to be inbounded by Siegfried now with 6 minutes, 53 seconds to go. It's Louisville 19. Richmond Heights, 17.
First foul of the game on Dorian Jones. Sorry, Aiden.
Oh, no worries.
And we're going to get another quick foul here on Richmond Heights. And that's going to go against Joey Emery. So 2 quick fouls here on Richmond Heights in the first minute plus of the second quarter.
6 minutes, 52 seconds to go here now as Siegfried gets the inbound. He'll hand a lob out to Al Jancic, who follows it in, or draws it in with his left. Fires away to Bailey. He's off the stripe. Gives it over to Ashton Marshall. Looks to make something happen. Picks up his foot and goes to Siegfried. Gross now in the corner. We'll go back to Siegfried. Passes it back to Bailey. And the Louisville Leopards are trying to make something happen. Siegfried's got something cooked up, but he's got to let something do. Ashton Marshall fires out to Siegfried, who goes to Bailey. Bailey bricks the 3. And on Richmond Heights' way down, it looks like that was Derek Barber Jr. who tried to go for the save, but he would have just been better off letting it go.
Yeah, that was just good ball movement by Louisville, but Bailey just couldn't knock down the shot.
Al Jancic with a quick 3 ball. Can't find it as he is way off the front of the rim. Siegfried gets the ball back now after it's tipped by Richmond's Derek Barber Jr. Ball turned over by Siegfried, still going Louisville's way, actually, but it looked like Siegfried did have the last hand on that one, Mike.
Well, I think that's going to stay with Louisville here.
Well, Al Jancic on the inbound. Louisville on a box inside or outside of the paint. Going over to Marshall. Siegfried's got a spot. He looks to go for a lane, can't find it. Fires it back to Marshall. Marshall with his right dribbles it past Damaris Winters Jr. to his teammate, to Devin Bailey. Bailey fires back to Marshall. Marshall goes to Siegfried. Siegfried goes to Gross. And inside, unguarded, is Bailey. He misses it. And now another hip foul called as it's going to...
Yeah, foul's going to be on Mika Asbury for Richmond Heights, his first. 13th foul on the Spartans here in the second quarter.
Siegfried on the inbound again. Fires a wide one to Gross, who goes back up. Can't find it. Marshall from the three-point strike. Gives it to Bailey. Siegfried's from behind the perimeter. And it's going to make its way. Ball is going to make its way back around to the left side. Gross looks to go underneath. Goes to Al Jancic. Almost fires away on his way out. Siegfried's got a lane inside. Makes the extra pass. And Gross can't get the shot. Al Jancic instead grabs it, and he'll put it back for a second chance scoring opportunity. He's got 4 on the night. 5 minutes, 13 seconds to go here in the second. It's Louisville 21, Richmond Heights 17. And this is high school hoops, Mike.
Yeah, Louisville finally rewarded down at this other end. Good ball movement, and they get the basket to kind of break this Richmond Heights run.
A pass underneath to Joe Emery goes awry. as it ends up in the hands of Bo Siegfried. He hands it off to Aljancic. Deep three! Gets it! Let the crowd speak for me.
Give it to him. His first three of the night.
I was saving that for Bo Siegfried's third three. 4 minutes, 38 seconds to go here in the second. It's Louisville 24, Richmond Heights 17. Tom Siegfried readying up a couple of troops on the bench to go in. Joey Emery from three, guarded in his face by Gross, but he'll notch it anyways. 4 minutes, 24 seconds to go, and Richmond Heights finds themselves down 4 to Louisville's 24. It's 24-20, Louisville lead. Siegfried tries to cross up Damaris Winters Jr. Goes to his right side and kicks it back out to Aljancic. Jancic pump fakes the three. Tells Siegfried to go underneath. Siegfried passes it into Gross, who gives it to Bailey. He's unguarded on the other side. But Aljancic at the key now, tries to lob one up to Gross. Ball's tipped on its way down. And De'Eric Barber Jr. going to slow things down for the Spartans. Damaris Winters hands it off to Emery. And Emery, now offset of the three-point stripe, backs up to the volleyball strike zone. Deep three! Give it to him! I'm sorry, I used it early, Mike. 3 minutes, 36 seconds to go here in the second. It is Louisville 24. Richmond Heights 23. And my goodness, Mike, if this still goes the way that it's going, I might have to stand up start the second half.
Well, Richmond Heights, the three ball has really helped bring them back into this game.
Aljancic thinks about sniping one from deep, and Gross goes up for an and one inside the paint. Guarded closely by Dorian Jones. I think he might be the one. Excuse me, that's going to be Damaris Winters Jr. on the foul. He had two men guarding him. Gross. Contested bucket goes in, and that's the effect that Gross needs to have on this Louisville offense.
Yeah, Braden Gross just too strong for Richmond Heights in the paint. Gets the basket, looking for the free throw, and he misses
the free throw, as that's rebounded by Joey Emery. Joey Emery is 3-on-2, goes up for a quick lay, and he is unguarded. Aljancic pushes him on the way out, little flare going, but that ball is going to go back to Siegfried on the right side. Takes it with his left, goes behind his back, and hits it to Marshall. On the right side, he's going to hand it back to Siegfried, who fires a quick one over to Aljancic. Aljancic on the left side has it to Andrechik. Andrechik taped up on his right, gets it to Aljancic, who goes right back to the corner. Andrechik from three! Fire away! 2 minutes, 43 seconds to go. In the second, it's Louisville 29, Richmond Heights 25.
Well, we saw Andrechik in a starter's role earlier in this season. Very effective in his first season as a starter. Gets the three to open his scoring for the night for him.
And Joey Emery from deep can't find it. Not sure if that's the shot there, but Siegfried telling his squad to slow all the way down. Siegfried on the court, not on the bench, picks up the pace and gets it behind the three-point stripe. And that ball knuckles its way out of the rim. And on the attempted tip back in, Aljancic gives it to the other team. De'Eric Barber tries to ISO, instead hands it to Damaris Winters. Winters looks to cross up Gross, but backs up instead. 1 minute and 52 seconds left, no shot clock. Leopards 29, Spartans 25. Dorian James, from way behind the line, looks to take a contested three and fires it. Wow.
Boy, that's about the fourth three for Richmond Heights during this run that they have, and they get back to within a point.
Siegfried with 1 minute and 25 seconds left, taking the commands from his father. It's Louisville 29, Richmond Heights 28, a one-point game after that large run from Louisville in the first. A timeout taken by Siegfried is going to put in Colton Loy for Devin Bailey.
Well, Richmond Heights able to rally in this game after Louisville's hot start. Bo Siegfried, hot start, but missed, I think, the last three of his three-point attempts. You can't worry about that if you're Bo Siegfried, though. I mean, you know, you get open, you take that shot, and to try to get himself right back in it. But, you know, kind of what we hoped for and what we expected coming in, a close game as we're approaching halftime right here. Louisville up 29-28.
My goodness, Mike, what a game we have on our hands. Siegfried chewing out Gross on the bench. It looks like Gross has been benched instead of
Ashton Marshall comes in instead. Siegfried with a minute and 11 to go. Guarded closely at the stripe. He'll dribble back to the leper. And he's guarded by Derek Barber Jr. And Andrechik fires inside to Marshall. Quick turnover taken by Dorian Jones. Passes it off to Damaris Winters. Winters drives in, guarded by Siegfried. He's got a couple of men on him. Instead, fires back to the perimeter. And he'll go inside for a mid-range jumper with 48 seconds left. And they'll take their first lead of the game. It is Richmond Heights 30, Louisville 29.
After Richmond Heights was down by as many as 11, they've come back to take the lead.
Andrechik at the key. Goes offset to the right. Looks to go for an and one. And a charging foul taken by a tough Winters.
Yeah, charging foul on Avery Andrechik. Looked like he led with his arm in there down in the post. Now Richmond Heights with an opportunity to possibly take the last shot here, take a 3-point or maybe 4-point lead into halftime after being down by as many as 11.
Joey Emery gives it to Derek Barber, who gives it right back to Joey Emery. Emery at the leper. He's got 21 seconds left, looking to carry the ball until the end of the first half. Jaden Johnson now on the court for Richmond Heights. He's a new face we haven't seen. But Joey Emery looking to make a play as he sends Jaden Johnson down through. Underneath, ball's stolen. Taken by Aljancic. Siegfried on the other end. 2 seconds left. Buzzer beater! Can't find it. And with a chance to take the lead, Siegfried goes off the left side of the rim from deep. And that's going to take us to halftime. It is Richmond Heights 30, Louisville 29.
Yeah, Siegfried didn't really have much time left to maybe take another dribble inside the arc to get a shot inside the arc. But still, well played first half, especially by Richmond Heights here in the second quarter, as they were able to rally from 11 down. Joey Emery, big factor for them in that quarter. Back-to-back threes. He's got 12 points for the Spartans. And for Louisville, Braden Gross and Bo Siegfried. Siegfried with the hot start with the 3 threes in the first quarter for 9 points. Braden Gross with 8 points for Louisville. And Tate Aljancic hit a big 3 in that second quarter. He has 7 points, but it's Richmond Heights with a 30-29 lead at halftime.
Mike, it has been one heck of a game, and I am proud to say that I get to broadcast it here with my best friend, Mike Popovich. Anyways, with that being said, that is going to take us to our halftime. We're going to take a little bit of a break here, and we'll have it right back for my breakdown of the first half gameplay. This has been Aiden Brueck and Mike Popovich signing off for the first half of the Richmond Heights Spartans, currently leading the Louisville Leopards 30
All right, it's Mike Popovich back here at Louisville, where we're at halftime with the score, Richmond Heights 30 and Louisville 29. Take a look at some scores from around the area. In the fourth quarter in the EBC, it's Carrollton 37, West Branch 27. And in the Federal League at halftime, it's Green 23 and Perry 20. Also at halftime, high-scoring game here in the Federal League. It's Jackson 45, Glen Oak 36. And in the Inter-Valley Conference North, it is Malvern 23, East Canton 12 at halftime. And a college basketball score of interest tonight at halftime in the Mid-American Conference up at the Mack Center. It is Akron 48 and Kent State 31. And once again here at halftime at Louisville, it's Richmond Heights leading the Leopards 30-29. Aiden Brueck and I will be back in a few minutes with second half action here on The Letter Live.
Welcome to back. Oh my. Let's restart. Hold on. Let me try that again. I have to reset. Hold on. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Letter Live here from Louisville High School. I'm Aiden Brueck, and to my right is local sports legend Mike Popovich. It's currently Richmond Heights 30 to Louisville's 29. And this has been as close of a game as you would want it to be. Richmond Heights coming down from an 11-point deficit earlier in the first, and they've really come back and sparked up now with with all the time being chewed out the clock. I mean, Louisville hasn't been able to get anything done on that side in terms of transitions. And with that being said, Mike, let's take it down to Brueck's breakdown. At the half, Mike, I have a couple of things I want to say to Louisville. Number one, we need to shut down Damaris Winters Jr. That 6-foot senior guard has been running rampant all over the Louisville 3-2 zone. And so what I think needs to happen is we need to shift to a 2-3 or a triangle and 2 and make sure that the paint is not open at all during any of this defensive possession. Louisville has been playing way too far out of the paint, and I have just seen it be abused and, I've seen it being abused and, tailored for that Richmond Heights offense. Next up, what I need to see Joey Emery from Richmond Heights getting beat out on the boards by Braden Gross. Braden Gross is big enough. He can get those boards. But Joey Emery has been getting those defensive boards with little time left to spare as his entire team is all the way on the other side of the court.
Braden Gross is still thinking about the offensive possession when he goes for boards. So instead of thinking about a putback, think about a restart of the offensive possession. Next up, we need fast transitions, and we need Louisville to play fast. We can't have them slow things down like they were earlier in the first. And with that being said, Mike, that's about all I got for Brueck's breakdown.
Well, it's a good breakdown, just as it was at the start of the game. And yeah, I do agree with you. Let's see if Louisville kind of speeds up the pace a little bit here.
Alchancic fires a 3 to start the third, and that ball goes back out to Ashton Marshall, who nails it. Now, as Alchancic went for that 3, he airballed, and it went into the hands of Devin Bailey, who fired it out to Ashton Marshall. He was able to make a play. It's Louisville 32, Richmond Heights 30. Deep 3 taken, I'd say deep 3, he's in the corner. I mean, that's just bad word association. But that 3's no good nonetheless for Richmond Heights. Bo Siegfried now has it for the Leopards. 7 minutes, 17 seconds to go. It's Louisville 32, Richmond Heights 30. And another turnover now off of Braden Gross as it gets stolen from him and ends up in the hands of Derek Barber Jr. Damaris Winters on the wing, looking to spread out the paint, and Derek Barber is able to get through and find the open lane for a layup. 6 minutes, 56 seconds to go now in the third. It's Louisville 32, Richmond Heights 32. Tied now.
First basket in a while for Derek Barber Jr. for Richmond Heights. Started off with 4 points in the first quarter.
Devin Bailey passes it to Braden Gross, but gets the ball right back. He's guarded by Emery. He hands the ball off to Siegfried, who's on the left side. Fires a pump fake and goes to Alchancic instead, and Alchancic now 0 for 2 to start the third quarter. It's Richmond Heights ball with 6 minutes, 31 seconds to go, and we're tied at 32.
Well, it was a hot start into the game for Bo Siegfried. Let's see if he can get himself back into a groove for Louisville here as this game wears on.
Emery on the right side screens past Winters, and he'll look for a spot inside the paint. He's guarded, fadeaway jumper, bounces a couple of times and goes in. 6 minutes, 10 seconds to go. It's Richmond Heights 34, Louisville 32. Siegfried guarded by Barber. Hands it over to Marshall. Marshall unguarded for a second, has to get it back to Alchancic on the left wing. Pushes through, no foul is called, and almost a turnover as Siegfried regains possession. 5 minutes, 53 seconds to go. Richmond Heights 34, Louisville 32. Siegfried fires one over to Devin Bailey on the other side. Alchancic has it now, looking to post up. Hands it to Bailey. He'll drive through, passes one back out to Alchancic, who goes inside to Marshall. On the right side, Marshall turns it over, and in transition, Joey Emery cannot hold on to it, and it's going right back to Louisville, thankfully, to Emery's, turnover. There's really no other way you can say it. You turned the ball over. He had a shot to have it, turned it over. 5 minutes, 35 seconds to go now, and we're cleaning up a little bit of sweat that's on the floor. I don't think I've ever seen a Gatorade towel that's been darker in my life. Oh my God. That thing is filthy.
Yeah, you might want to put that one away for the night.
Alchancic deep 3 for the Gatorade towel. Can't find it. Ball's rebounded by Damaris Winters. Ball ends up in the hands of Barber. Turnover in the passing lane, going underneath to Devin Bailey. Goes inside, and a foul, and one called for Bailey. Bailey will have some crucial foul shots for the and one opportunity now with 5 minutes and 17 seconds left here in the third. It is a
It's a 2-point deficit.
It's a 2-point deficit, and they come back now. I apologize, I have a brain fart. Ref talking to Emery as he passes the ball off to Bailey.
First 2 points of the night for Bailey.
Make it 3. Louisville now leads 35-34 with 5 minutes and 15 seconds left to go here in the third. Richmond Heights have trailed only a couple of times. This brings them back. Barber Jr. looks to cross up Siegfried, goes inside. Siegfried goes up. Foul called. And it is going to not be a shooting foul. Rather, it's going to be a... no, that's a shooting foul. No, that is like indefinitely a shooting foul.
Yeah, the foul goes against Bo Siegfried, his first of the night.
You know why I've been getting all these calls wrong?
I haven't been wearing my glasses.
Well, I haven't been wearing mine since I've gotten to know you, so I've survived, but
I can see in 4K. HD. Derek Barber Jr. nails his second, and he'll get both in the pair. Richmond Heights 36, Louisville 35. Siegfried dribbles past Derek Barber. Goes back to Al Jansen. He finds Siegfried back at the level. Siegfried ball stolen, poked out by Barber. He'll look to get past, looks to find a spot underneath. Instead goes to Al Jansen, who almost fires a deep three, loses it, goes to Bailey on the left wing. Bailey goes inside. Reverse layup and in. Louisville 37, Richmond Heights 36. And Devin Bailey on a tear now as he's got 5 on the night. Barber gives it to Ansberry, who can't knock down the three as it is rebounded by Ashton Marshall. And notice that took me a while to say that. That's because it bounced twice on the rim. Siegfried now on the right wing. Hands it off to Aljancic, almost stolen by Ansberry. And Aljancic goes inside for an easy layup, and he'll find it. Now Louisville leading by 3. 4 minutes and 1 second to go now here in the third. It's Louisville 39, Richmond Heights 36. Barber drives through, guarded by Siegfried. Tough layup, can't find it. Rebounded by Emery. And Emery, like I said, if he's able to get those boards, they're going to get a lot of second chances. But Winters drives through, over a couple of men, notches its way out on a pocket. Ashton Marshall stops in his tracks, guarded by Winters on the left side. Looks to push forward, goes inside for the layup, but he's fouled on the way out. Not going to be a shooting foul.
It's going to be on Damaris Winters for Richmond Heights, his second foul. As they get Braden Gross back into the game for Devin Bailey from Louisville. Bailey with a hot start to this third quarter with 5 points to help get Louisville back on top.
Like I said, if they play fast, they will be fine. And that has been exactly what Tom Siegfried has led for the Leopards. Siegfried going through his legs, guarded by Barber. Barber unfazed, goes over to Colton Lloyd. Fired inside to Gross, his first time on the floor this half. Excuse me, first time on the floor after a break to start the half.
Yeah, Gross back into the game with 8 points tonight for Louisville. Behind Siegfried's 9 and Aljancic's 9.
Fired away to Braden Gross on the inbound. He's got a lane. He'll fire it out to Ashton Marshall on the left wing. Marshall looks to go in for a midi. Fires it back out instead. Siegfried and the Leopards can't capitalize off of the open pass. But now a 2-3 going for the Leopards. As Aljancic goes inside to Gross on the in-stride pass. Gross up and in, finds it. Leopards 41, Spartans 36. 2 minutes, 43 seconds to go here now in the third. And Louisville on to a real nice 8-point run. Barber Jr. has it now for the Spartans. Guarded by Lloyd. Lloyd pretty far off of him and finds the intercepted pass on the way in. Gross, spin around, inside, notches it. 2 minutes, 18 seconds to go. Braden Gross, he's got 12, leading the charge for Louisville. Louisville 43, Richmond Heights 36.
Well, that's a nice spin move by Gross there. What he can do with the ball in his hands.
And another steal by the Leopards. It's going to the corner to Siegfried. Crossover, and can't find it. His shooting struggles continue. And it's going Richmond Heights' way as Siegfried isn't able to capitalize off of the fast break.
Keep shooting if you're both Siegfried. I mean, you're white, you was open like there. But you can't let that prevent you from keeping on shooting.
Barber holding possession of the rock now for the Spartans. He's double-teamed by Gross and Siegfried. Aggressive defense. Goes in stride to Joey Emery. Another turnover. It's given to Siegfried inside. Lob up! Can't find the poster. And Braden Gross almost put Dorian Jones on an FBI watch list.
There are about 4 photographers down on that baseline that were thinking, my God, what a shot this could have been if he would have been able to finish that dunk.
And that's rough for Richmond Heights because Derek Barber Jr. looked to get injured on the play. He's sitting down. It looks like it's his back.
Well, Gross will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. First one up and in. He's got 13 on the night. Louisville all of a sudden back up by 8, 44-36.
Gross' second. Fires the pair. And a sub coming in now for Louisville as Colton Lloyd goes off for Ashton Marshall. It looks like Winters is good to go. He's walking around trying to get feeling back in his lower back. But the ball is taken up by Emery now. Handed off to Winters. Winters looking to make a move on Braden Gross. Fires it out to Emery. Emery inside, guarded by Loy. Goes in for an and one. And as I say Loy, I just realized Loy actually just went out. And excuse me, that was Devin Bailey on the guard there.
Yeah, second foul on Devin Bailey. Boy, that's a big basket for Richmond Heights. Louisville is really starting to build a lot of momentum. Up by as many as 9. Now Richmond Heights has an opportunity to get it to within 6.
And that they do.
And Joey Emery's able to do that. Emery with 17 points on the day for Richmond Heights, having a great game. But Braden Gross in this run for Louisville here in the third quarter has really helped the Leopards expand on their lead. They were up by as many as 9. But as we've seen before earlier today, Richmond Heights was down by 11. They were able to rally and take the lead. Still plenty of time left in this game.
And as you said, Mike, there's still plenty of time left in this game. 5 seconds left in this timeout taken by the Spartans. Spartans probably looking to give more time to Barber so we can rest up and get back out on the court. Aljancic, Loy, Austin Wade sitting down on the bench, ready to go in for the Leopards. Devin Bailey on the inbound. Lose yourself playing in the arena. 1 minute 22 to go here in the third. Siegfried passes it off to Andrechik, who gets it right back to Siegfried. Siegfried has to get it to his left to Bailey. Bounce pass over to Siegfried. They get it past the timeline. Siegfried on the right side. He is pushed out right by the Leopard. Goes into Marshall. Marshall guarded closely by Winters. Gives it back to Siegfried. Transition now. He's guarded by he's guarded by Ansberry. Fires away to Andrechik. Misses Marshall inside, but goes back to Siegfried on the left side. Siegfried telling him to tell him something, but obviously lost in translation. Gross inside, has a body up, and can't find it back. Ball's going to be given back to the Leopards now after the chase down by Jaden Johnson. Siegfried comes down, and Dorian Jones put one up! Dunked by Jones. A highlight play for the senior.
Not going away. Let's see once again, maybe if Louisville can finish off.
Billy inside. They've got Marshall from 3. Can't find it, but Marshall looks to get the board. Ends up back in the hands of Loy, and it's turned over. 6 seconds to go. Travel called, and it's Louisville ball with 6.1 seconds to go. Spartans down by 4, needed that possession to end the third. But Siegfried comes back in for Loy, and he'll be on the inbound. Put up by Marshall real quick. 4 seconds to go. Clock runs. Winters from the stripe. Way short. Almost hits the cheerleaders on its way down. And it's Louisville 47, leading 6.
Well, Louisville was able to salvage something at the end of that quarter on that Marshall basket. I don't know if Richmond Heights was really expecting Marshall to get the ball. He was able to get himself open and get the layup to give Louisville a 47-41 lead. You know, just when you think Louisville's going to maybe take control of this game, Richmond Heights finds its way to claw its way back. Joey Emery has had a big night for them already with 17 points. And in that third quarter, Braden Gross kind of caught fire a little bit, as we're talking about the Who's Hot segment. Caught fire a little bit. He's up to 14 points for Louisville. Should be a really interesting finish here in what they're calling the play-by-play class. Now, originally, this game was going to be played at the Canton Memorial Civic Center, but they have moved it here to Louisville. And quite frankly, I'm kind of glad that they did.
I'm glad they did too, because this place is full.
Yeah, to have it in a full high school gym. Not as big of a fan of high school basketball at the Canton Civic Center as I am of the Canton Fieldhouse, but they were able to move the game here, and it's been a real fun, festive atmosphere here tonight.
Without a doubt. And we're back in the fourth quarter of action. Leopards leading the Spartans 47-41. Barber on the right side, taking a foul and a push by Braden Gross. I believe that's his first foul of the game.
Yeah, that is correct. First foul. And Tom Siegfried had the what look? And I was like, I kind of agreed with him, but a little bit of a touch foul to start the quarter.
Barber has the inbound. It goes to Jones. Barber receives the pass right back from Jones, and he is offset up the key by about a couple of steps. Looking to drive through in the foul. Finds its way in. 7 minutes, 37 seconds to go. Spartans are within 4. It's Louisville 47. Richmond Heights 43. Bailey fires off to Aljancic. Aljancic now on the left wing. Hands over to Gross, who has it on the left corner. Gross fakes the mid-range. Goes in, tries to go for the poster, can't find it, gets the second chance rebound, doesn't get the board, or doesn't get the layup, but will get some foul shots now with 7 minutes and 15 seconds to go. So Gross will have the opportunity to put the Leopards back up with 7 minutes and 15 seconds left.
Yeah, I think that's about the fourth or fifth time that Gross has been in a position to convert off his own offensive rebounds, whether it's free throws or a basket. His first free throw is no good.
Gross folding under the pressure. 7 minutes and 15 seconds left now here in the fourth. Gross looking to split the pair now. It's Louisville 47, Richmond Heights 43. Gross finds his second after a couple of bounces. It looks like Barber is back in the game. As we said, he went down with a lower back injury late in the third, but he is returning into action, and he's guarded by Siegfried. Point guard versus point guard, even matchup. Barber goes inside, contested layup, can't find it. Siegfried taken down the court. He dribbles through one, dribbles through another. Gross inside, looks to go inside. Ball goes off the back of the backboard, and it's washed. And Siegfried is heated.
Well, as good of a player as Braden Gross is, you would think he'd get a little bit more respect than that down there. That looked like he should be going to the free throw line again, but instead, Richmond Heights ball.
Ike Hansberry now with the ball for the Spartans. 6 minutes, 30 seconds to go here in the fourth. Hands it off and screen to Winters. Winters passes one up to Joey Emery. From three, can't find it. Ball ends up in the hands of Bailey. Bailey to Siegfried now on the right side. Siegfried's got to get it down the court. Screens past Gross, and Emery sniffs out the screen. Gross loses it almost after the pass, but regains it and gives it to Aljancic. Gross now at the three-point stripe. 3 up, 2 down. Timeout now taken by Siegfried. Smart timeout taken by Siegfried there. Had to give his boys a little bit of a rest now with 6 minutes and 6 seconds left after the Richmond Heights Spartans were able to press up and get things going.
Well, we're going to plan on seeing a lot of Louisville the rest of the regular season here. We haven't seen them for what seems like forever since the start of the season. They're going to be hosting Hoover here on Tuesday, and then a week from tomorrow, St. Vincent St. Mary comes to Louisville. So, and then later on in the season, St. Ignatius comes to Louisville. So, you know, sometimes when you're an independent, scheduling can become a nightmare. When you have a program as good as Louisville's that's an independent, you can really schedule anybody you want. And the teams that they're playing, whether it's Richmond Heights, whether it's the teams that I've said that they're going to be playing coming up, whether it's the teams that they were playing in California when they went to the tournament in San Diego, that's going to help prepare them for the most important time of the season, and that's just around the corner.
Inbounding the ball is Aljansic. He is off stripe. Lobs one over to Siegfried. He's got a lane, and he'll find it. Siegfried with an easy lane. He's got 11 tonight. Louisville 48. Richmond Heights 45. Louisville up by 3 now with 5 minutes 57 seconds to go. It's anybody's game. And it looked like Dorian Jones was inside for an easy lay, but Barber just couldn't find him. Taking it now is Winters. He'll put up a mid-range float, or a jumper, excuse me, and that was not the right shot to take as it goes spin around in the rim. 5 minutes 39 to go here in the fourth. Louisville 50, excuse me. And another missed foul as Richmond Heights passes one up to Winters. He can't find that shot. And another foul miss as Bailey takes it, and Richmond Heights being let to play here. Marshall goes out to Gross. Gross from 3, way in front of the rim. And Emery's got it on the other side. He goes to the corner. Jones from 3, finds it, and it's a 4-point play.
Wow, the potential to be a 4-point play as he is fouled on that 3-pointer. Dorian Jones, second 3 of the night. We'll go to the foul line with an opportunity to get Richmond Heights back to within 3. Louisville just can't put this team away. Gross with a missed 3 down here. That could have made it a 10-point game. And now you're talking about a potential 7-point swing here.
There are those raggedy Gatorade towels, man. Wow. I mean, I just have never seen anything dirtier in my life. And Braden Gross is wiping his hair with it. Maybe they're supposed to be gray.
I was going to say,
Maybe they're
I think
supposed to
they
be
are.
gray.
Yeah.
But if that's the same towel that was used to wipe the floor, and Braden Gross is wiping his head with it, full of sweat, not sure that's very hygienic. Towel's given back to the scorer's table as Dorian James has another look at the foul stripe. Inside, it's Loy and Marshall, closest to the rim. He can't make it, and the 4-point play is no good as it negates to 3. 5 minutes left. Richmond Heights down 4. Aljansic crosses up on Jones. Passing one up. Another foul called, and Jones turning the ball over. Or excuse me, Jones with the foul. That was not a turnover. On a whole nother planet, apparently.
Well, that's his second foul and kind of a touch foul there on Jones. Louisville maintains possession.
Aljansic goes to Bailey at the Leopard. Going around, passes one out. He's got a couple of looks. Looking to go to Siegfried, but it is a kickball. It's going Louisville's way. With 4 minutes, 46 seconds to go, it's Louisville 50, Richmond Heights 46. Louisville lobs one up to Loy. Goes to Aljansic from 3. Can't find it. Thinks he's got a foul on the way down, but it's rebounded to Loy. Kicks back out to Aljansic. Goes to Bailey. Bailey drives through. Tough layup. Not just off the back of the rim, but he finds it anyways. And while I say that, he just finds the rebound and puts it right back up.
A big second half for Bailey. He had a big game against St. Ed's here last week. 7 points in the second half. Louisville by 6.
And a tough layup taken by De'Aaron Barber. As timeout taken, will put Braden Gross back in the game. Richmond Heights staying with the same squad. 4 minutes. 4 minutes and 14 seconds left to go here in the fourth. It's Louisville 52, Richmond Heights 48. And Richmond Heights haven't been able to climb over that hump, even though they held that lead earlier here in the second.
Yeah, but they just keep coming back at you. Like you said, down at this end of the court, Louisville opportunity to go up by double digits. This three-pointer, Richmond Heights gets a three-pointer. They're still in this game. You know, Richmond Heights plays that type of, we talked about the teams Louisville faces. Richmond Heights, same way. I mean, they'll play the best of D1, any division in the state, to get themselves ready for the tournament. They'll play St. Ed's. They played a couple teams, I'm sure, from out of state that's on this schedule that you and I haven't heard of. Dynamite Prep, or Dynamic Prep.
Dynamite Prep sounds a hell of a lot cooler, though.
It does.
You know what I mean?
I thought Dynamic Prep was cool, but yeah, Dynamite Prep would have been cool. From Irving, Texas.
Sorry.
Hey, not every gym we go to plays Sweet Caroline.
No,
so you have to
get into it when you can. Gross now at the logo. Dribbles past two defenders. He's got to get it to Aljancic, who goes inside to Loy. Loy with a reverse layup. Can't find it. Marshall with the putback. Huge for Louisville. 3 minutes, 57 seconds to go. It's Louisville 54. Richmond Heights 48. Barber at the logo. 1-2-2. Played by Richmond Heights. Looks to cross over. Goes back to Dorian Jones from three, and he'll fire it. And that's a crazy good and important three for Richmond Heights now with 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Louisville 54, Richmond Heights 51. Wishy-washy on the backcourt. It's going to Richmond Heights. And Siegfried is not happy with that call.
Well, that was the third three of the night for Dorian Jones. The way Richmond Heights started the game wasn't like what we were seeing in warm-ups when they couldn't miss a shot. But their three-point game has really improved since the start of the game.
Barber now with the ball for the Spartans. Crosses over on Loy. Three passed up by Winters. He carries it around. Going back out to Barber, and Barber's going to reset. Looks to go for a deep three, won't take it. Instead, he dribbles back inside, hop, step, and a jump, and one for Barber. Has the chance to tie the game up for the Spartans. 3 minutes and 7 seconds to go. It's Louisville 54. Richmond Heights, I believe 53, thank you. The scoreboard was not updated in time.
Well, Barber with an opportunity to tie the game if he hits this free throw. As you said, he was out of the game earlier on. The lower back injury had appeared. He's able to hit the free throw and tie the game at 54. Barber with 15 points on the night for the Spartans. Big factor in them being in this game.
Siegfried tells his men to get down the court as quickly as they can, but they're slowing down, and the slow play is what has stopped them all game. But now, Devin Bailey looks to pick it up. Hands it to Siegfried in the corner on the right side. Gives an in-stride pass to Gross. Gross inside, no foul called, and the foul is now called after it's missed for the first time. Gross is headed to the foul stripe with 2 minutes and 51 seconds left, and I don't know what to expect. I don't know how to call fouls when the inconsistency is as inconsistent as it currently inconsistently is.
Well, you just have to call it the way you see it, and if they don't call the foul, they don't call the foul, but they did there. Gross going to the free throw line. He's 5 of 6 from the line tonight. The announcer's jinx. He misses the push.
It's 5 from 7.
Gross trying to split the pair and break this tie.
Gross with some huge free throws now. Siegfried looking on. Looks at it, finds it in. 2 minutes 51 to go now. It's Louisville 55, Richmond Heights 54. Barber looking to play hero ball. Dribbles back. Going behind, through the legs. Dribbling through on Gross. Ball handed off to Jones in the left corner. Fakes out Marshall, and the ball bobbles in. Benches up for Richmond Heights. And with 2 minutes, 27 seconds to go, Aljancic stops in the transition, and Siegfried takes it instead. Going to Gross. He'll go up and down. And one called as Richmond Heights takes a fall. That was Joey Emery, 5'10", senior guard, taking the fall there for Richmond Heights.
Don't you get the feeling that Braden Gross is going to have a big finish to this game? Or is it just me?
I have an inkling.
I think he has. I think he has it in him to do that.
Devin Bailey now coming out for Colton Loy. And Ashton Marshall's on the other side of the court for the Leopards, matched up with, I believe, Damaris Winters Jr. Gross's first free throw. His first and only free throw finds its way in, converts for the three-point play on the end one, and it's Louisville 58, Richmond Heights 56. 2-point game. Barber's gonna shoot it. I just know it. Steps back, going inside, passes it back out to Emery. Emery fires away to Winters. From three, a swish from Winters. Timeout now taken. Richmond Heights takes the lead. It's Richmond Heights 59, Louisville 58, with 2 minutes and 1 second left here in the fourth.
The second three of the night for Winters, the seventh of the night for Richmond Heights. They're back on top 59-58. Hey, it's a close game. We've been dying for those all year, and the past couple of weeks, we've had some close games.
We've had some pretty close
McKinley,
games.
Maslin at the Fieldhouse last week. We had Glen Oak and Hoover on Tuesday. It was a 9-point win for Hoover, but it was a big run at the fourth quarter. And now we have Louisville and Richmond Heights tonight. See, I told you they would come. I told you these close games would come.
If you build it.
If you build it.
If you build it.
Yes.
And build it, we have.
Do we have overtime?
I haven't even thought about that possibility. I have a bedtime.
What's that?
I have a bedtime, Mike. It's allotted so that we go for 4 quarters.
Well.
Anyways, with that being said, my quick breakdown is that Richmond Heights needs to fire away on the perimeter. They have been electric from behind the stripe. If Louisville can take things up a notch on the offensive side of things, they'll be all set. As I say that, Siegfried goes to Aljancic in the corner. Handed off to Gross. He's sweating like a pig. Fires it off to Marshall. Goes from the left side. Spins around. Fakes out Ansberry. And he's locked down by Ansberry. And Siegfried now has it off the screen. Guarded by Barber. Leopards ball with 1 minute and 28 seconds left. Richmond Heights 59, Leopards 58. Gross inside for a big 2. Finds the shooting foul, and Gross is headed to the foul stripe with 1 minute and 22 seconds to go. And with that foul, Richmond Heights has given Louisville the bonus with 1 minute and 20, yes they have. Louisville has the bonus now with 1 minute and 22 seconds to go.
Braden Gross' first free throw is good. Trying to make it a big finish on the night for him. That's his 20th point as he ties the game at 59.
It's Aljancic, Loy, Gross, Siegfried, and Marshall. The dream team with 1 minute and 22 seconds left for the Leopards. Gross makes his second to take a 1-point lead over Richmond Heights. 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. It's Louisville 60, Richmond Heights 59. And as the time ticks down, we are almost at 1 minute and 10 seconds left. Barber calling a play, asking for a screen from Emery. Takes the screen from Emery. Barber drives in for a tough shot. Won't find it, but a foul is called. He'll head to the stripe.
That foul will go against Louisville.
And he's got some big foul shots coming up.
Yep. Colton Loy, first foul from Louisville. Barber goes to the free throw line. Tries to tie the game with his first free throw, and he does.
And as Barber finds his first, he's got a shot here to take the lead now for the Spartans. Devin Bailey comes back on for Colton Loy. And Barber, his second, can't net it. And Gross has it with 1 minute to go. Ball given off to Siegfried.
from behind the timeline. He's got to get it forward. He's guarded by Emery. Siegfried goes behind his back, showing off his dribbling moves. Gives it to Gross, who gives it back to Siegfried. Goes underneath to Gross. Gross almost loses it. Ball saved by Marshall. Given to Aljancic. Almost spots it up, but with 44 seconds to go, Leopards reset. It's washed. And Siegfried, now at the logo, tries to make something happen. Gives it to Aljancic. Deep three from Aljancic. He fires it, and that is a huge three from Aljancic with 30 seconds left. Level Louisville 63. Richmond Heights 60. And a timeout now taken as Richmond Heights' Derek Barber Jr. finds a layup in transition to put Richmond Heights back within one. And that shot will be overshadowed by that Aljancic three. But I was watching that three being taken by Aljancic, and all I could think about was his brother, who's playing at Finley.
Who was really good. Was the all-time leading scorer at Louisville up until last year when Hayden Nigro replaced him. What I was thinking of during that possession, I'm seeing Tom Siegfried motion like to spread it out. I'm thinking Louisville's going to play for the final shot. But all of a sudden, Aljancic finds himself open on the right wing. He takes the three, puts his team up by 3 at the time. But Richmond Heights is able to convert. 63-62 Louisville. It's going to be a great finish here.
And Mike and I are now standing. It's getting real. Louisville 63, Richmond Heights 62 in the closest game we've had in the Letter Lives history.
When the executive producer tells me to rise, I'll rise.
Aljancic gives it to Bailey, who gives it back to Aljancic. Aljancic's got a man in Gross, who gives it back to Bailey. Down at the logo, tries to foul. Gross is headed to the stripe now. 13.4 seconds to go, and he'll get 2.
Well, Gross has been very effective at the line tonight for the Leopards. 21 points. He's only missed 1 free throw. With 13.4 seconds left, trying to make it a 3-point game.
And Louisville, who found themselves down to Richmond to start the second half, have now risen to the occasion as Gross misses his first free throw.
Boy, this is the end of the game where you need to rise.
We need to rise.
Well, let's see if Gross can rise up here at the line and give his team a 2-point lead.
And Gross finds it. 13.4 seconds for Richmond Heights. Barber takes it down the court. Guarded by Gross. He's got behind his back. Hands it off to Winters. And now Louisville retains possession. Timeout taken by Louisville with 2.9 seconds left. And now with a second ticked off the clock, looks like Louisville might run away with this one. Louisville has the ball with 1.9 seconds to go. And Richmond Heights will need a miracle to stay in it. 60-second timeout taken by Louisville. And Louisville only leads by 2.
Boy, I thought that shot Richmond Heights. I'm remembering right now, trying to remember who took it. I think it was Emery.
Joey Emery.
Yeah, it was Emery. Boy, it looked good coming off of his hands. But now Louisville able to be in a good position right now. In Richmond Heights, I think what you really want to try to do here, there's not that much time left, just over 2 seconds to go. They really need to force a turnover here on this inbounds, or else Louisville has a chance to maybe put this game away at the free throw line if there's a foul call.
And Louisville going to go to the other side. Richmond Heights is going to foul as soon as they're able to get it down the court. Refs will call it as we are in the last 2 seconds of regulation. Refs will call it. It is touching. 64 seconds, or 64 to 62, excuse me.
Wondering if you're going to maybe see a long baseball pass from Louisville.
Aljancic has the inbound now, and he's guarded by Damaris Winters. Or excuse me, he's guarded by Dorian Jones. Foul now called. And they get it off before Louisville can call the timeout. And the Louisville student section chanting overrated as Tom Siegfried takes off the blazer.
Yeah, he went with the all-black look tonight.
And it looks like Barber now getting taken out of the game.
Well, Devin Bailey with an opportunity to put this game to bed for Louisville. 2 free throws with his team up by 2 and just 1.2 seconds left. His first shot is off the back of the rim, no good.
His first shot is off. And Mike, it's better to let this play out by letting the viewers watch, but the viewers can't watch. Bailey's second free throw attempt with 1.2 seconds to go. He makes it. And it's washed. It looks like he'll get... It looks like the entire free throw in itself is washed. Joey Emery's got to launch this ball down the court. A Hail Mary from Richmond Heights. From Dorian Jones, puts one up. It falls off the back of the backboard, and that's going to do it. Louisville takes down 3-time state champions Richmond Heights. Louisville 64, Richmond Heights 62, and that will do it from Louisville High School.
Wow, what a game this was. What a fun game this was. Louisville survives multiple runs by Richmond Heights tonight. They get up early, go up by as many as 11, but Richmond Heights comes back, and then Louisville has to come back. But what a great performance. Braden Gross was a monster for Louisville late in this game when his team really needed him. Finishes with 22 points tonight, and then a big three-pointer in the final minute from Tate Aljancic when you thought maybe Louisville was going to play for one at the end of regulation. He hits a big three-pointer. Louisville defeats the 3-time state champion Spartans. And this is what they hope is one step toward bigger and better things over the next couple of months.
And my goodness, Mike, you know, Louisville has this saying. It's the program. The subtitle of that program, anyone, anytime. And Louisville have risen to the occasion once again. Them being the underdogs in this game, they come in and end up edging out the victory by 2 against this Richmond Heights team. And what a statement victory for the Leopards that they have gained tonight.
What a statement couple of victories that Louisville has had on the last 2 Friday nights here. Demolishing Lakewood St. Ed's last week and then overcoming a tight game against Richmond Heights tonight to be able to come out with this victory. And like I said, boy, it's going to be a fun couple of weeks in this gym before the tournament starts for the Leopards with who they got to play next.
Oh my goodness, Mike. Shout out to Gene Simmons behind us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Go Gene.
What a game.
What a game.
Great game.
It was.
Called a great game, too. Do a fantastic job.
Well, I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much.
Gene Simmons from Ohio High School Football Media. I mean, Mike, what a game. We are going to have post-game interviews for you live on the Letter Live's YouTube channel after we end the stream here. And I mean, I'm totally at a loss of words because this game has not only has it been the closest game that we've seen in terms of, you know, final score margin, but this has been the most exciting game I think I've gotten to watch since that Massillon-McKinley game.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, amongst the games that we've done this year, Massillon-McKinley, Louisville, Richmond Heights, I mean, those two have been on top, and hopefully we get to see a few more over these next few weeks.
Absolutely, and with that being said, Mike, you know it's my favorite word, catchphrase. That is going to do it from the Letter Live here from Louisville High School. This has been Aiden Brueck, Mike Popovich from the Canton Repository, Josh Weir on the game recap. You can look out for that on the Canton Repository's website. What else is there to say?
Boy, it was a great game. I look forward to this all week, and
it did not disappoint.
It did not disappoint.
It did not disappoint.
You know, when you have to rise at the end of the game to call it, great call by you, by the way.
And honestly, it looked like for a second that Richmond Heights could have ran away with it. But, I mean, Louisville were able to keep things and keep their composure. And
Got to grab some of these Louisville players while the emotions are still high, Mike.
Well, yeah, and like you said, Louisville had opportunities to take control of this game, go up by as many as double digits, and Richmond Heights kept battling back. So, boy, these two teams are going to really, I think, going to have some really impressive runs coming up in the postseason.
Absolutely, Mike. With that being said, this has been the Letter Live from Louisville High School. I'm Aiden Brueck. This is Mike Popovich. The second time we've tried to close this out before we go on another tangent, so I'm just going to end it here before we start talking again. Have a great night, everybody.